Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. This is in association with Witchy 101 and also my Witchy education shows that I do on my channel. I am Willow and today I am going to be doing a following up video to do with Witchy 101 on different types of witches. Now today's witch we're going to be looking more into detail about electic witches and their meanings and the sort of way that they intend to practice. I will be doing several videos this week to do with different types of witches that are well known so that you guys can have some more of an understanding, and I will be doing these videos for each show that we do on a Friday. I will be doing a follow-up with a bit more detail in these types of videos, and we'll be using these on my channel for our Witchy 101 people to be able to look at and also to use in my witch educational playlist that I have on my channel also. So I'm going to just have some pictures up and I'm going to give you some information on the electic witch, and I hope that you find this information useful and factual to you to help you to understand your path, whether you're going to be a witch or a spiritual practitioner. I will be back with you in a couple of seconds. So let's get on with the show and let's give you some useful information on electic witches. Now, obviously, the first most prominent thing about electic witches that these types of practitioners in the craft and in magic do intend to like to work on their own and not be in a group or be in a coven, and they like to illustrate their own forms of magic into what they're doing, and these can be different characteristics of magic from different locations and places. It's not just one specific thing that they work with. They could work with many different elements of magic. So this gives you some information on the electric witch and the meanings so that you beginners can have a little bit more understanding. An electric witch is one of the most popular types of witchcraft. A lot of beginners use this practice. Modern electic witches rarely follow specific rules. Instead, they blend various traditions, practices, and beliefs into the spiritual practice. Electic witches may use elements from various sources, such as Wiccan, folk, magic, or other spiritual paths, depending on their interests. Electic witchcraft is a highly flexible, inclusive spiritual practice, appealing to people from a wide range of backgrounds and beliefs. These are some of the parts to look up on electic witches. What is an electric witch? The word electic comes from the Greek verb meaning to select. It was initially meant to describe philosophers who did not follow a specific path or field of study. The most common characteristics of electic witchcraft is the individuality and creativity they have. Electic witchcraft encourages you to experimentation and personal exploration, exploring and being able to find your own path, having your understanding of the different practices and beliefs that you're following in your craft is what that means. Electic witches combine many magical methods and those practices that deeply resonate with them. A lot of electic witches will go for certain specific practices and ways of working that most relate to them and where they can most connect and get what they want from doing their magic. So they're very, very precise on that sort of work when it comes to doing that. There is also the solitary electic witch. The electic witch do not go by particular sets of rules or guidelines. Instead, they create their own path by using different traditions. This allows for a highly personalized practice that suits the witch's or the spiritual practitioner's individuality. Electic witches often prefer to work alone and rarely enjoy working with a group or a coven. This is why some are called a solitary electric witch. A solitary electic witch allows their spiritual practices to ebb and flow throughout their life and is happy to adapt their practices accordingly. Are electic witches also Wiccan? One of the most significant difficulties for beginner witches is the identification. Wiccan philosophies, because books often combine witchcraft with Wiccan beliefs. However, electic witches do not need to be Wiccan to practice witchcraft. A lot of the electic witches are very natural to they do their own thing from home or from their secret space that they like to work in. They don't really follow a religious aspect. They can if they feel to, but a lot of them don't, and they just do the craft through their belief and what they do. So they don't normally look towards things like the Wiccan beliefs and stuff like that. Some, but not all. Wicca was created by Gerald Gardner in the early 1950s and incorporated beliefs from Aleister Crowley, the Hermetic Order of Golden Dawn, and other Western witchcraft traditions. Wiccans follow the rule of three, which specifies that the energy of magic you release, either positive or negative, will return to you 3 times. They also follow the Wiccan Rede, "An ye harm none, do what ye will," and do not typically perform hexes or curses. Wiccans also can follow specific paths like Gardnerian, Alexandrian, and Dianic, and have different degrees of intrusion. How to begin an electic witch path. This is really important for you guys to understand because you need to be able to know your path. You need to know what you're going to be following. You need to know what things resonate with you, what things you most connect with, where you most feel that you are open when in a secret space. So you are going to need to explore those categories by going to different places and seeing where you most relate, being able to look into the types of crafts that you're probably wanting to do. Now you're wanting to bring that into your everyday practice. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do to get yourself prepared for that. And that's why the Witchy 101 show and my educational shows that I do on my channel are really good to watch. And there are other sisters channels that you can follow as well, such as Drew, Paranormal Vlog, which is my sister Drew. You've got Mystical Love and Light, which is my sis. There are information and stuff being shown also up on my sister Christina's channel on YouTube as well, which is Christina and Son Ghost Squad. So there are a lot of places that you can follow up and get more information to learn and to do your practices correctly if you are just starting out. How to begin an electic witch path. Some advice to any beginners witches. Whether it's an electric path or not, begin with your hobbies and interests. What topics do you find most fascinating? What do you feel most connected to? Let your consciousness guide you. Educating yourself in places like the library is a great place to start researching, and the books don't have to focus on witchcraft. You can look up information on many topics, including history, folklore, dreams, self-helping, gardening, crystals, and much more of the elements that are used in the craft. Don't look into Wicca or the practice right away. Gain advice and knowledge first. Don't set your mind to one thing when beginning the craft. Be open to learning many things. It's very important not to just focus into the Wicca state or focusing straight into the electic state either, because they will have specific ways for you to follow. First, do your education, because there may be other elements of practices that you find that you want to bring into that. Then maybe later on look into the electic side of your craft. The Wiccan side, a lot of the electic witches and people that practice solo and on their own and that don't really normally follow like a Wiccan or pagan way. They just do their magic and have their own ways and beliefs, still using deities and stuff in some cases, but they don't go to a specific religion. Some of the electic witch books for beginners that are really good and that I have tried to look up to see the reviews on are listed here. So The History of Magic, Witchcraft and the Occult by D.K. Publishing. The Secrets of the Universe in 100 Symbols by Sarah Bartlett. Signs and Symbols and Illustrated Guide to the Origins and Meanings by DK Publishing. Again, these are said to be some really good publishers. Another electic author that's meant to be really good, especially not just in learning new electic witchcraft, but also learning you about other aspects of witchcraft, is somebody called Bob Curran. He is said to be very good and has some amazing books that you can read up. So looking at them will probably be really good and help you to have maybe a little bit more of understanding. Like there are libraries and other places that you can look in online as well. There is lots of information and stuff that can help you, as well as following practitioners and people that do this online, like myself and my sisters and other people that are on social media sites. The next part of this is talking about the sorts of things that the electic witch brings into their practices. So tools and beliefs and other so-called things. So the first part we're going to talk about is the altar ideas that electic witches like to have. Since electic witches combine different practices and traditions, their altars are as unique as they are. However, some items are commonly used in witchcraft that could be placed on your altar. Here are a few ideas to help you get started, but feel free to make them to your very own taste and liking. Remember that in your craft, your magic is your own. And even though there can be certain things stated, there is no harm in you being able to decorate up your tools and your things that you use in your craft to make them to your taste and your liking and your personality. It really does help to do those sort of things, and it keeps you focused in your work also. So the first thing are candles. Candles are fantastic for spells and altar items. Some witches use them to represent the elements of fire and sometimes air and the other elements of use. A candle color meaning also for spell work. So there's a lot of things that you can do with candles and use in spell work. Most witches will be known to use them in their practices anyway. Candle magic is rooted in the same ideas and concepts as color therapy. Colors have specific vibration and frequencies that can be used in many ways, including our mental wellness and spiritual practices. Even something as much as candle flame meanings also have a deep significance in many spiritual beliefs. The high flickering flames can dance and jump, taking on unique shapes as they burn, which is excellent for divination work. So it's very important that you understand and have an understanding for candles. So when doing this, look up on candle magic to get more of an understanding of candles, their colors and their meanings and what they are used for. It's very important that all research and studying into all elements read and spoke about in this video and on our Witchy 101 videos are took seriously and researched. Research and studying goes very far in witchcraft, and in anything spiritual so that you can have an understanding. That is very, very important. The next tool are crystals, another one that is very widely used by many witches for different reasons. Crystals are frequently used in witchcraft because they contain different energies and properties for healing, protection, or manifestation. Some popular crystals for altars include clear quartz, amethyst, rose quartz, and black tourmaline. Research about crystals and how to use them to be more connected. It's very important that you are connected to your crystals and have an understanding for them, knowing what their names and their significant elements of energy are used for, and how they can be beneficial in your practices and your workings. It's very important to do this research and studying into anything that you'll be looking into using as tools and elements and ways of your craft. Another popular way are numbers. Numbers are very widely used in craft because numbers give you messages and signs and signals from our universe, ancestors, and spirit guides. Numbers are how the universe, ancestors, and our spiritual guides speak to us. Each number has its own energy, frequency, and vibration to utilize communication, similar to crystals and colors. Numberology combines the spiritual significance of number and their meanings into your life and witchcraft practice. It's a popular tool for divination and self-discovery. It's an excellent altar addition and provides depth and significance to spells and rituals. As I said with all of the other elements and tools, please do your research to have more of an understanding about the numbers and their meanings. Working with numbers can have a lot of different messages and ways of communicating with you. And always remember that that is significantly messages being spoke to you from your universe and from your spiritual energies, whether that is family or that are spirit guides or spirit animals. They will use numbers as a way of being able to communicate with you. So research and practicing in this form of work is very important, because it's all about having the illustration of being able to see messages and to be able to decipher those messages and understand what's being said, and also having knowledge of that aspect of tool that you work with. Another one is symbols. Symbols have been used for many, many years in witchcraft and represent many different things. Symbols are significant, and just like numbers or any other form of tool, they are specifically for certain parts of your practice, some things benefiting yourself. Symbols are looked at, or signals are looked at for working in spiritual practices. They can also be used as forms on your altar to enlighten, enhance, and empower certain rituals and spells that you're using. They can also be used around your home and helping you to be safe. All symbols, like any other tool, have their specific uses and have different uses. Symbols or signals in your spiritual practice or on your altar, remember, before using spiritual symbols, take some time to research and fully understand their meanings and cultural importance. It is essential to approach spiritual symbols with respect and care. Please only use symbols that resonate with your personal beliefs and values. One thing about the symbols and signals is you can't just throw all types of symbols into specific spell work. The symbols have to resonate with the spells and the values of belief that you are working in. So if you're somebody that is a Wiccan and you're trying to use the spiritual beliefs of maybe a paganism or a Christianity or a Judaism, then it may not work the way that you want it to be effectively. If you are a practitioner that uses many elements of crafts and you work and resonate out all of the energies of all of those practices, then your symbols will work for you as long as you use the symbols to the direct belief and cultural importance. Another form is herbs. Herbs have also been used for many years and have been used for many practical aspects of life. Many witches for thousands of years have used herbs as ways for healing and vision, spirituality, for communication and connection, for many aspects. Herbs add a powerful layer of energy and intention to a witch's altar. Herbal remedies have been used for centuries, and their magical properties can be a potent tool in your spell and rituals. You can use them in jar spells, sachets, or burn them as incense. Electic witches may also include herbalism in their spiritual practice, but this will vary by each practitioner because, as we know, every practitioner is different and we all work differently. Before incorporating herbs onto your altar, it's essential to research their properties and understand how to use them safely and effectively. Lavender is a popular choice and is often used to aid with sleep, love, luck, or peace, as a instance. So it's very important that when doing your research that you look into the properties that these herbs give you, how they can help and benefit you in your spell work. When you do start to purchase your herbs, make sure that you do label your herbs and put the dates and things on them so you know when you got them. And then it will be happy casting. The next one, and one of the most important elements for working in your practice, is working with your deities. So your guides, spirits, your ancestors, all of the energies that help you to work through your everyday life and your practice. You can get things such as statues, images, or symbols of deities, spirits, or ancestors. They can be placed upon your altar to invoke their presence and guidance. This can include pictures, statues, or other representations corresponding to their energy and significance. You can also have offerings such as food, drink, or other items that are meaningful to them. By honoring them in this way, you'll create a secret space for communication and reflection. Do your research before getting started with deities. Respect and mindful practice will help you to establish a connection and deepen your spiritual practice and workings. It's very important to have an understanding and a recall on every deity that you work with, because when working with them, there will be specific herbs, incense, foods, and other things that they will like that you would give them as an offering for them coming forward and working with you. This is for all elements and energies that you work with, including your four colours, four directions, and even your elements. Remember that there are spirits that are connected to all of these things. So all of them have specific ways of working, have specific things that they like to help them to be connected to you and to help you to do and to reach your goals. By doing so, you work together in a relationship that is understanding to both yourself and to them. So putting out elements of things that they like and that most empower them is very significant for your practice to work the way that you need it to. Another very important aspect of finding yourself when doing your craft is your place of practice. As you know, becoming a witch or even a spiritual practitioner, we're always going to need a place where we can enlighten ourselves, where we can meditate, where we can open to our energies and deities, and where we can perform our magic and our prayers. This place would be known as a secret space. Now, this secret space can be within your home, or it can be outside, or it can be in any place of your choice. But it is important that when doing this, that it's a place where you will not be disturbed and where you feel most connected. When starting magical work, it's important to find your secret space. This can be at home or outside. Look for places you connect to deeply and will not be disturbed. It's important to have your own space when practicing magic or even your spirituality. Once you have established your places of secret workings, you can illustrate when you would use them. For instance, I have several places that I like to go to and I like to class as my secret space. Now, I have my front room in my home that's been made into my witch's den. It is blessed, cleansed every single day by me so that I can use it and so that I can worship and so that I can do all that I desire to do in my magical practice and in everyday life. I will normally use my home area most of the time, but in the winters, it's very known for me to just stay at home and do my practicing. But when it comes to being summer and the more warmer weather, as well as maybe being in my home and practicing a lot of my spell work as I do like to be able to go to nature and be with nature and connect that way also, using my energy and connection with Mother Earth and Mother Nature to manifest my workings in my spells and in my rituals. I will go to nature also to do spells and castings upon them to help them with their energy, growth, and things that they may need. So I illustrate and have two secret spaces. One that I use for when it's cold and when I cannot get out because I do have physical health as well that is I have problems with. And I have another space that I go to when the weather is warmer because in the summer I can sit, I can be there for hours and I can connect. And it really does help me with my meditation, with finding my path and knowing my directions I'm needing for certain things I need to be doing. So it's very important to you as new practitioners as well that you'll find those places that are secret, those places that most connect you, and where you're not going to get a lot of disturbance from other people. It's very important to remember that when going into your craft and working in your craft, it's very important to be left doing your work and not being disturbed as much as possible because your attention and focus is very much needed when doing so. So I hope that this video has helped you to have a more of an understanding about the forms of the electic witch, the practices, and the way that they work. Remember, even though you have been told these aspects, you can bring anything you want into your craft and into your new practice. But remember that research is key and vital for you to be able to do your work correctly. Following people, researching, studying through libraries, books, online, and being around people that are spiritually open and already do this will be some aspects that will be very beneficial to you. So I hope that you have enjoyed the videos, and remember to be proud to be a witch. Open yourself to your spirituality. Research, study, and get knowledge. Become wise. Connect with your energies and listen to all that you see, feel, or hear. Signs and messages are around you all the time. It's learning to adapt and to embrace those things. And like any form of witchcraft, the electic witch very much focuses on connections to the world and to her elements. So remember that meditation, secret spaces, and being comfortable in your working is most important. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that this has helped you. And please follow me again this week for the second video, which will be on another witch that we spoke about in class 2 on Witches 101. But until then, love, light, and blessings to you all. And thank you for tuning in. And we will see you on Fridays, Witchy 101, with myself, Drew, and Mystical. And please look out through the week for more of these videos and my meditation videos. And please check out all of the sisters' channels also. Bless me and merry parting for now. And thank you for watching.